We know that one issue that Tim Scott will take to the stage tonight is abortion. The South Carolina senator launching a new ad as part of an $8 million backed campaign. Scott's message centering around faith and a commitment to conservative family values that hasn't wavered as he continues to describe his political journey as one of opportunity and redemption. So joining me now is senior advisor for the Tim Scott campaign, Matt Gorman. Matt, thank you for being here with us. And you know, a former campaign manager actually said this morning that when it comes to beating Trump, the only way to take away his votes is to go after him with every negative blow possible. But, you know, being the nice guy doesn't seem to be working here. Do you think that Senator Scott is going to change his tactics?
Well, what I expect from him today is a few things. I think, first of all, he's going to talk about why he's running, to restore hope, create opportunity, and protect the America we all love. I also would expect, or wouldn't be surprised, if you see some policy contrast between him and the other candidates, just like you might have seen in that ad right there. We believe he's the best messenger out there with the most consistent conservative record, and it's important to talk about that record and maybe make some distinctions with others. And then lastly, he's unveiled some extensive policy plans in the last 30 days since the last debate on empowering parents and rebuilding our economy and cutting spending. I wouldn't be surprised if he talked about that either.
Okay, so you didn't really answer me on if he's going to go after Trump or not, so let's see if you'll answer this one. What about going after the other Republican candidates? You know, Scott has presented himself as a kind conservative. No mudslinging so far. He's the gentleman in the room, but he hasn't gained any ground in the polls. So is it time to change his strategy?
Well, he's going to be who he is. He's going to be the adult in the room. The crosstalk and the yelling only does one thing. It benefits Joe Biden's reelect. But I would actually push back on your premise. I was there in Iowa just last week when, by name, he talked about President Trump. He talked about Governor Haley, Governor DeSantis, and Mr. Ramaswamy, and talked about his contrast in abortion. So it's not exactly true. He has talked about that because, candidly, that issue is very personal to him. And those are some of the contrasts he's made in the past couple of days and weeks. And we'll see if he makes those tonight.
Okay. And in an effort to have a more prominent place on stage, Scott actually asked to have his position changed to move his podium. Has the RNC responded to that at all?
You know, I haven't heard one way or another, but regardless of where his podium is, he's going to speak directly to the American people. And you talked about faith. Faith in God, faith in America, and faith in each other. Those are some of the broad themes of this campaign. And again, when he talks about it, it's not about speaking time, it's about speaking substance. And I would expect to hear that tonight from him.
Okay, and Senator Scott follows the Reagan ideology of if you strike, you should be fired. With Senator Scott so far behind in the polls and the UAW even filing a complaint against him and now threatening the right to strike, is that a smart move given the political climate?
Well, I think what he was outlining is he doesn't want taxpayers holding the bag like they have in the past for whatever deal has been struck. When he was at the Senate Banking Committee, he's had people, pensioners, come to him, and they were promised one thing, but the taxpayers could only guarantee another. As president, he won't allow that, but as a candidate, he won't tolerate that. But again, when he was talking about the UAW comments, he was talking about making sure that taxpayers aren't subsidizing whatever deal gets done.
And that certainly rings true, and a lot of people on the far right would agree with that. But what about the people that are working and still can't put food on the table?
Well, that's why we need to grow the economy, and he unveiled a plan called Build, Don't Borrow, where we cut spending, work towards a balanced budget amendment, and bring things back in America. You're right. Putting food on the table is important. That's why he wrote the personal side of the tax reform bill that passed a couple years ago that President Trump signed into law. Cut taxes for single moms and middle-class families, like the one you're probably referencing right there. He also wrote the bill called Opportunity Zones, which was the largest and most effective anti-poverty legislation in a generation. Brought private investment into some of those most impoverished areas in the country. So when you want to talk about putting food back on the table, those are some of his accomplishments, but also he's unveiled plans to take it as president even further.
And Matt, I've spoken with some people that really want to see Senator Scott succeed here, and they feel like tonight is a make-or-break moment for him. Do you agree with that?
Look, debates are a moment in time. They're important, I'll give you that, but they don't define a campaign. To be successful in this, I've done this several times now, you need to be built for the long haul. That's what we're ready to do. And again, we believe Senator Scott's the best messenger in the field, the most consistent conservative in the field. So it's our job to put the campaign behind him and make sure that he's prepared, not just tonight, not just tomorrow, but all the way through that California primary and beyond that you were just talking about.
Okay, Matt Gorman, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.